Happy Pride Month, everybody! Welcome to Beauties and Beasts, a podcast of all things Beauty and the Beast. As a biromantic asexual woman, Pride Month is important to me, especially when my own orientation is so marginalized and underrepresented. To think how easier our lives could have been had we known we could be more than just straight. But of course, the shows we watched as kids only presented straight couples, even if just the mom and dad of the main character. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but you never saw the same-sex couples, only in adult media, teenage at best, and even then they were a very rare sight. Which is why it's so great there are kids shows out there today not afraid to present LGBT characters in the background and the foreground. Kids today are realizing their sexual and gender identities much sooner with no shame and learning to accept others who are different from them. Even if a kid's not gay, you shouldn't grow up to be a bigot. I mean, that's just given. So today we are going to talk about a current cartoon series from Disney that features LGBTQ characters. Now, it's not the first time Disney's shown support for the LGBTQ community, from Good Luck Charlie to Gravity Falls to Star vs. the Forces of Evil to the DuckTales reboot. They've shown same-sex couples before. But even so, those instances were either very subtle or featured in a single episode. I guess they were testing audience reactions before getting into the really daring, like Steven Universe has done. But last year in 2020, Disney surprised us with a fantasy adventure series called The Owl House, starring a bisexual female character and a lesbian love interest, along with one other character having two dads. And it's not even subtle or speculation, it's blatantly obvious. And the creator, Dana Terrace, who is herself a bisexual woman, confirmed her character's sexual orientation. And it's an interesting relationship too, between the plucky protagonist and someone who starts off as the mean girl character. And technically, they are a different species, a witch and a human in different worlds, so they count as a Beauty and the Beast couple. Plus, there is a mentor-student relationship that fits the Beauty and the Beast criteria, so we'll touch upon that too. This analysis mentions crucial plot points in Season 1, so a spoiler warning is in order. Right now, I'd like to thank my $5 plus patrons, Cosmic Trail, Bella PinkSavage, Arvin Joshua Rocks 15, Poppy X Branch 2000, and TyrannosaurusVenom. You too can become a patron today by pledging to patron.podbean.com/beautiesandbeasts. Also show your support by buying merchandise on Redbubble for my podcast and for the LGBTQ community. I've got gay flags, bi flags, lesbian flags, trans flags, ace flags, demi flags, pansexual, omnisexual, and much more. Get them on your apparel or decorations or stationery and show your pride and support if you are an ally. Because homosexuality and pedophilia are not the same thing. Screw you, Hungary, for banning the Owl House. Yeah, in fact, where's the boo button? Here's a boo button for every country that has banned the Owl House. There we go. My heart goes out to you gay Hungarians out there, by the way. Poland rejects me too, and the Catholic Church. Why do bigots have to make it so hard for me to be proud of where I came from? Anyway, we're only going to be focusing on Season 1 of The Owl House, as the series is still ongoing, although the recent episode has had some huge gay moments. And I won't go through every single plot thread, but focus on the points of the two key relationships. So the premise of The Owl House is that 13-year-old girl, Hispanic-American Luz Nocera, accidentally stumbles upon a magical world called the Boiling Isles. It's very different from the happy-go-lucky magical worlds she reads about in fantasy books, as it's a lot more gross and deadly, such as flesh-eating fairies are flying everywhere. Luz runs into Ida the Owl Lady, a witch wanted by the Emperor for her rebellious nature. Wendy Malick is a legend, by the way. Aided by her trusty, adorable demon sidekick, Bill Cipher. King. It was through Ida's portal that Luz arrived in the Boiling Isles. Ida uses that portal to get human objects and sell them to the highest bidder for whatever oddities they think they are. But since Luz doesn't really fit in at home with her wild imagination, and her mom thinks that she's at a boring old office summer camp anyway, I can't believe they actually make camps for that, do they? She decides to stay and learn to become a witch like Ida. Plus, what diehard fantasy nerd wouldn't want to spend a summer in magic training? Ahem, fantasy nerd right here, ahem. But though Ida is willing to go along with Luz's aspiration, there is a complication. When Ida was a little girl, she was cursed to turn into an owl beast and go on a rampage. She has a potion to manage the curse, but it progressively gets worse and worse. That's one reason she's a wanted criminal. The other reason is that she refuses to join a coven like the other witches and focus on only one type of magic. So because of that, and she doesn't want to give up all her other types of magic, she's considered a rogue, an outcast like Luz, just for being herself. Wow, this show is relatable on a number of levels. Now, the interesting thing about Ida, while she takes Luz under her wing, there are areas in which she's a bit close-minded, so that she's not like the perfect mentor. Initially, she didn't want to send Luz to magic school, even though Luz really wanted to learn the academic side of magic, along with Ida's hands-on, unstructured approach. But eventually, Ida realized that if she was going to help Luz, she had to allow her every possible opportunity to grow and learn. Lesson for parents and mentors: trust kids to figure themselves out as long as it's not hurting anybody. Ida's teaching methods are also unconventional, which Luz finds strange at first, but turns out that it works best for her because as a human, she can't work magic the same way as most witches because she doesn't have a bile sac on her heart. Yeah, the world building in the show is very intricate. Their teacher-student relationship is very wholesome and almost familial. Ida ends up learning from Luz with her optimism versus Ida looking out for not only herself, but for Luz. Us weirdos gotta stick together, you know? And when Ida ends up losing her powers, the roles are reversed as Luz teaches magic her way, which I think they're going to expand upon in Season 2. But of course, as much as we love Ida, I do, we're all really here for Lumity! Seriously, one of the most adorable ships I've seen in Disney. I think it deserves a cheer. Sorry, the connection's a little weak today, so let me know if the sound cuts out at any point. So, Amity was introduced in episode 3 when Luz discovered her and another witch, Willow, in the forest. Amity was teasing Willow for having inadequate control over her abomination, which is kind of like a golem, sludge brought to life. She calls Willow half a witch while she's a star student. So she comes off as a mean girl at first. Then Luz offers to help Willow by pretending to be an abomination herself that's been brought to life. And Amity calls them out for cheating. In fairness, they were breaking the rules, so Amity is not totally in the wrong in this instance. Amity and Luz meet again at the Witches' Convention. Not convention, it's convention, as in covens. Yeah, puns. And Amity laughs at Luz for thinking that she, a human, can become a witch. And Luz foolishly challenges her to a witch's duel to prove herself. Despite knowing only one spell, I love Luz, but she just jumps into things way, way, way too fast. Amity has her make a magical vow that if Luz loses the witch's duel, she'll quit trying to be a witch. In the match, Ida helps Luz cheat, but so does Amity's mentor, Lilith, Ida's sister, by the way, who cursed her, without Amity even knowing. Luz tries to comfort and upset Amity, and then shows her special drawing spell, and explains how, yeah, I know I'm not a witch yet, but I am learning to be one, and magic doesn't come as naturally for me, so I've had to find other ways. And from this, Amity releases Luz from the vow, saying that humans can't be witches, but doubt that That'll let her stop. That'll stop her. Next time Luce runs into Amity is at the library, where Miss Mean Girl is reading to kids, and also runs into Amity's older twin siblings, Emra and Edric, who like to make mischief and tease Amity. As if that wasn't enough insight into Amity's personal life, the twins show Luce Amity's secret reading nook, containing Luce's favorite book series, The Good Witch Azura. You know, they gotta explain how that book series is in both worlds. I think they will at some point. The twins want to steal Amity's diary and publish it around the school, but Luce thinks that's an invasion of privacy. But then she stumbles upon it anyway, by accident, just as Amity walks in, and of course she gets the wrong idea. Upset, Amity says, "I've been trying to figure you out. Are you a poser, a nerd? I know, you're a bully, Luce." So yeah, in Amity's eyes, Luce is the bully. I mean, first, she helped her friend cheat on a test, and then, she breaks into the library and steals Amity's diary. Man, this really isn't a black and white thing. But then Luce and Amity bond over defeating a scary book monster, and Luce lends her latest Azura book to Amity, and Amity says, "Maybe you aren't a bully. I haven't exactly been the nicest witch either. I'll take that to heart next time." Progress and character growth is so beautiful. Eventually we learn more about Amity, like how her parents pressure her to be perfect and associate with only the right kind of witches, and forced her to end her friendship with Willow, so that explains why she's so bitter and obsessed with winning and being perfect. The Lumity ship became immensely popular, and I found it adorable too. Like, I could see it, but I didn't think they were actually gonna do it. And then came the enchanted Grom Fright, or Night, however the title goes. Amity is chosen for Grom Queen at their school dance, which is not the same as Prom Queen, as it means Amity has to fight the Grom monster that shapeshifts into your worst fear, and hers is very embarrassing, and she's not looking forward to the entire school seeing it. So Luce offers to take Amity's place in the fight so she won't embarrass herself. But Amity jumps in the middle of the fight, insisting that Luce shouldn't have to fight her battles for her. And we see Grom shapeshift into a person who tears up a love letter from Amity's pocket. Luce sees a piece that reads, "Will you go to Grom with me?" and sees that Amity's worst fear is getting rejected. Luce offers to go to Grom with her instead, as a friend, because she's totally clueless. Luce and Amity then fight Grom in a magic dance battle, and they are both crowned Grom queens. Then Luce says, "So, who do you want to ask out?" Then Amity goes, "Oh, it's not important," and throws the other piece of paper away, and we see that it's Luce. Luce! Told you it wasn't subtle. And you're right, fellow PinkSavage. Amity's gay panic moments is so precious. Yeah, that pretty much describes the later episodes. We continue with Amity being an awkward gay mess around Luce just to rub it in our faces that it's confirmed. Yeah, take that, you bigots. This is precious. You can't change my mind. Take that, Hungary. Take that, Czech Republic. Take that, Russia. We're on season 2 now, so I think we'll definitely see more of Lumity in the future. Given how the parents are, lots of potential conflict, and the fact that at some point, Luce will have to return home. I know she can't at the moment, but she will have to. Will our adorable star-crossed gay babies be torn apart with their separate worlds just as they're starting to fall in love? Gay or not, this couple has a lot of potential. I mean, the girl we thought was mean and just would be the antagonist throughout the entire series just turns out to be another weirdo in hiding. Like Luce trying to be the best, but in contrast, stepped on others to get what she wanted. Luce helps Amity see the person she is and the person she wants to be. And thanks to Luce, ends up with real friends and learning that there's more to life than just being the best at everything. And it doesn't matter if people don't really like you and don't treat you properly. Luce sees the sweetness in Amity and accepts even her flaws. And in a way, Amity is one of Luce's inspirations to learn magic and admires how good Amity is at it. I only hope their relationship gets better. And that Amity eventually confesses, and that Luce will return her feelings. I guess we'll find out in season 2. Hopefully! Oh, I actually didn't have as many notes as I thought I did on this. Oh well, anybody in the chat have anything extra to say about Luce and Amity, or maybe something else about the Owl House, maybe on Ida and her curse? I guess there also is a bit of a redemption arc with Lilith, Ida's sister, who cursed Ida when she was a child out of jealousy. But then Lilith ends up breaking the curse, well, sort of, by sharing it, and that's how they both lose their powers. And that's going to be part of the main plot of the next season. Yay! Yeah, Bella PinkSavage. Yeah, Amity could have easily been a one-dimensional bully, but no, Dana had other plans. Yeah, that is true. I mean, we've had a lot of reformed bullies in the children's cartoons recently, from Diamond Tiara and My Little Pony to Pacifica Northwest and Gravity Falls. And this is kind of different because we don't just have like one episode where they suddenly change. This is change over time, so I like how they do that. If anything, she kind of reminds me a bit like Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold. Well, except she's less punches and more, I'm gonna beat you up with magic kind. But yeah, on the inside, she's just like, oh, Luce, I love you and I hate you, but I love you. We're just a little less melodramatic. I mean, we love Helga, but she and Amity are different enough that it's not like they're totally copying off that character. And plus, Amity's gay! Yay! And, oh yeah, Ida is just a total badass. I agree with you, Bella. She definitely is. I love the way they're presenting from what I can tell, middle-aged woman, and how she can hold her own, and she's foxy, and she's imperfect. Like she has a good heart, but also she's kind of a grunkle Stan in the sense that she can con people, and she doesn't always listen. Kind of like Luce, in a way. Like, she doesn't always listen to people. Sometimes for the best, sometimes for the worst. They kind of complete each other. And Willow is a precious being that must be protected at all costs. Yeah, Willow. Yeah, Willow is a very good support character. And I do love how she's named after the witch best friend in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh yeah, and don't forget that she is the character with two dads. And we did see them recently in season 2. If you haven't seen season 2 yet, yeah, they show up for a brief moment. So they're more than just in the picture. But so far, they do seem like very good fathers. Oh, Bella PinkSavage. Yeah, I'm kind of like Luce in that state. You mean in the state where you don't always listen to people? As sometimes for the best, sometimes for the worst. Like, it's good not to listen to people when what they're saying is wrong. But when they're trying to tell you something important, like, hey, don't go into that dangerous forest, or don't just jump into competitions all randomly. Like, listen, girl, we love Luce. Like, she's nerdy. She is smart in her own right and creative. However, she's a bit impulsive. So it's like she's likable enough, but she's also flawed. I love how the characters are likable but flawed, and is staying consistent, and their characters still have room for growth. But yeah, Bella PinkSavage, nerds unite, and Amity's a nerd too. She's just kind of in the closet nerd. Yeah. Okay, let's give a clap for all those nerds out there. Oh yeah, and another comment from Bella, especially King. He may be cute, but he's really flawed. Oh gosh, I love King. I think personally he might be my favorite character, not just because it's Alex Hirsch, but oh my gosh, he's adorable and he's just such a mood, especially when he screams. And he is flawed. He's a little self-centered, but in an adorable way, and I can kind of understand if nobody takes him seriously, and so he gets frustrated a lot. Yeah, I just love all the characters in the Owl House, and I love fantasy and magic. It's my kind of thing. Oh, and according to Bella, Willow is her favorite. Yeah, Willow is sweet too. Now, of course, I kind of paid too much attention to Amity and Luce. Yeah, well, even Gus is kind of has his moments. Alright. But yeah, season 2 is definitely going to be awesome. You know, maybe in the future I'll probably do a second follow-up episode on season 2. Oh, and Hootie, yes, Hootie. Hootie's like that annoying character you can't help but love. The one that just annoys everybody. Like, I will be haunted by my actions forever. All right. Never want to have any fun. Ouch. Hoot. He does have some of the best lines. I will give him that. Also, Alex Hirsch. That voice. That terrible voice. Alright. Okay. Well, PinkSavage says, have a wonderful rest of your evening, DF. Hoot hoot! Yeah, and a hoot hoot to you too! Yeah, for next episode, we had a patron vote, and we'll be covering another Disney TV series, Once Upon a Time. Particularly the relationship between Belle and Rumpelstiltskin, and a few others that fit the Beauty and the Beast bill. Check out my Pride merch and show your support by becoming a patron today, and show your support for the LGBTQ community, whether you're part of it or you are just an ally. Remember, no one is 100% bad. There are different ways to learn things, and love is love, and it's adorable, especially when it's Lumity. Good night, everybody.